Hey Divya, thank you so much for such a lovely introduction. And even before I could begin, I just want to check if all of you can hear me all right. Just give me a
Yes.
sign. Thank you so very much. So before I could begin, a big, big, big hug and thank you. Can we all type into the chat box, Maheen? Let Maheen feel the love. Just type in Maheen. Maheen, this is me and all of us giving you lots of love, lots of love. Thank you very much for putting this entrepreneurship summit, the international summit, third time in a row. And it is an honor and privilege to be here. Lots of love to Team Ecole and all the August audience here. And what an honor it is to share the stage with esteemed speakers from so many places. I look forward to learning from you. So now that Maheen, I hope you can see all the love coming to you. You truly deserve it. Thank you. All right. So now I have a question for the audience here. But before asking this question, let me ask you. You see what this is? Have you ever struck a matchstick and watched as it catches potent fire? Yeah? Type in fire into the chat box. And this is exactly how most of the entrepreneurship journey begins with just a tiny spark. That's it, just a tiny spark. Yes, thank you very much. So long, long, long ago, when I left my corporate career, well-paid corporate career, like a crazy person, many of us we have done that. So when I left that job, high-paid job, I had no definite vision, no perfect plan, and certainly no funding. But what I did have was two things: curiosity and courage. Type that into the chat box. Curiosity and courage. These were my two assets. And in fact, these were my tiny spark which ignited the flame of entrepreneurial journey for me. And today I'm here with just one intent, and that is to help you find your tiny spark. Okay, and I promise I'm going to give you something within the next few minutes which will help you find your spark in just 5 steps. How many steps, please? Type that into the chat box. 5 steps. Yes, thank you. Thank you. So I promised to give you that. But before that, let me come back to my entrepreneurial journey with your permission. Type OK if I have your permission to share my journey with you. Type OK into the chat box. And thank you so much for all your interaction. Maheen knows and all the speaker knows that this is how we learn from each other. So thank you. All right. And thank you for your permission. So going back, this was year 2013 when I had left my full-time high-paid job and I started my first venture, and that is Weekend Nuts. Weekend Nuts. And the idea was very simple: to create meaningful events. But the implementation was not that simple. Among all the hardships that I faced, especially as a working mom, full-time mom, who has also got into startup, among the many hardships, the biggest one was facing rejections. When you do the cold calling, when you try to pitch your product and services to corporate, how many of you know, fill in the blanks. With every no, you get one step closer to a what? With every no, you get one step closer to yes, that is correct. But how do you keep going? How do you keep going when it is correct, Divya? Thank you. Cindy, thank you. So, but how do you keep going? For me, the mantra was, and I would like to share this mantra with you, that is, ask yourself, what is my next step? Write that into the chat box. What is my next step? And with just that focus on only one thing, that is my next step, I soon got clients like Amazon. We all know Amazon, Lenovo, Swiggy, and some of it that Divya has already mentioned. And yes, within a few years, I started enjoying the rewards of entrepreneurship. But I also realized that not every startup will reach to this phase. How many of you know that 90% of startups die within the first year? So it wasn't easy. And I know the pain, and I do not want any startup, any entrepreneur to be in that pain anymore. And that is why by the year 2019, I decided to mentor entrepreneurs and business owners full time. Within no time, as of now, as of date, Divya, correction, as of date, I have served clients and business owners from over 20 countries and 13 different industries, but I believe that I've just got started. And yes, today I may be an international business mentor, trainer, author, and speaker, but what is closest to my heart is what Snezana, I'm so sorry, I may be taking your name wrong, apologies, apologies, but I loved what you shared. I loved what you shared, that creating the growth environment. And that project is the closest to me. In fact, two pet projects. One was when I was a business mentor to the rural women entrepreneurs of India for small villages. Some of you were asking those questions, how to start with zero capital. Find mentors. And that was my first pet project. It was by Google, and I was one of the mentors there. And the second is creating my own Heart Leaders Club, where we are obsessed about creating world-class leaders, not just business owners. Okay, how many of you can relate to that? Type in me into the chat box if you relate that you need environment where people are crazy about your success. Type in me. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Agnes. Thank you, Divya. I love me. All right, so now as you know what, enough talking about me, talking about myself. Now I want to talk about you and your entrepreneurial journey. Why? Because some of you might be thinking, hey, Rupa, I'm a student. I am a full time working professional. I am a speaker. Why are you talking about entrepreneurship with me? But you know what? This is the entire theme. How many of you now type into the chat box, that's me. Type into the chat box, that's me if you love helping other people. Type in that's me. Type in that's me if you love solving problems. Yay! Congratulations, Amina. A gift, Jannat. Thank you very much. If that is you, then you know what? Congratulations. You already have the foundation of entrepreneurship, because entrepreneur is the one who solves problems. That's it. So each one of you is an entrepreneur. And as promised, I showed you a spark today. I showed you the fire today. And now I'm going to give you the 5-step framework. So I have really, tried condensing my 2 decades of corporate and business experience into a 5-step process called a Spark. So type into the chat box SPARK, but this time use all capitals, because as some of you have already guessed it, it is an acronym. Acronym. Okay, so let's quickly get started. Let me see how I'm doing on time. Oh, I have not started the timer. But let me quickly walk you through the process. Number one, the first step is, thank you very much for typing in, Sana, Nazrin, Cindy. Thank you very much. You guys are so amazing. So the S, the first step is letter S, and you have heard this. If you're paying attention, all our previous speakers have talked about it, and that is start small. Type that into the chat box. Start small. And I loved what my previous esteemed speaker said. Start from wherever you are with whatever you have. And how many of you are perfectionist in the house? Type in me if you identify yourself as a perfectionist. Here is a big tip for you. I am a recovering perfectionist. And here is a big tip for you. In order to start small, ditch perfection. Ouch, ouch, ditch perfection. And that is how you start small. Thank you very much. Let's move on to the next step. And that is P, letter P. You have heard of this as well. P stands for pursue passion. Type into the chat box, passion. Type into the chat box, passion with passion. Because when the going gets tough, passion is what will keep you, moving ahead. Passion. Thank you very much. Now A, spark. S was for start small. P was for pursue your passion. Next is A. If you do not do this step, letter A, you will become a dinosaur. That is, you will go extinct. So the letter A stands for adapt. ADAPT. Can someone type that into the chat box? Adapt. Adapt quickly, quickly. Challenges and changes are inevitable. What is your next step? Adapt quickly. Do not wait. Now, what was S? S stood for start small. P stood for pursue passion. A was adapt quickly. Now, the next R. What is the next letter? R. This is something which will help you not feel lonely in your entrepreneurship journey, because R stands for yay. Who is that? Abu Bakr? You are amazing. That is correct. Correct. R stands for relationship matters. Everyone type in relationship into the chat box. And the biggest tip that I can give for relationship, maintaining relationship, is think collaboration, not competition. Collaborate, do not compete. There is enough to go in the world to come back. Abundance mindset. And that is SPAR. What is remaining in the Spark framework? The fifth step. If you do not do this, you will be history. You will be statistics. So the K stands for keep going. Keep going, keep going. And the easiest way to do that, by the way, because going gets tough, and I promise in entrepreneurship journey, there are a lot of challenges, but the best way to keep going is identify and remember why did you start in the first place. And congratulations, that is you unlocking the Spark framework. So thank you very much for taking notes and writing it down. But here is my big tip for you. This Spark framework will help you get started. It will ignite. It will ignite the journey, the entrepreneurship journey for you. But what is most important is staying in the process, staying on the path of entrepreneurship until you succeed. And for that, find a growth environment. Find a growth environment such as our Heart Leaders Club, what Maheen has created, so that there are others who lift you up, to support you, to push you, to even kick you out of your comfort zone if that is needed. But once again, before you go, type into the chat box Spark, and if you are willing, if you are truly willing to ignite your spark, to start small, to pursue your passion, to adapt quickly, to build relationships, and to keep going. If you are ready to do that, type in 100%, because remember, entrepreneurship is a mindset. It is not a title, as beautifully as Maheen has said. So type in 100% if you are willing to ignite the entrepreneur within you. Thank you very much. It was an honor and privilege to serve you. Oh, this is Rupa Patil. Divya, back to you, my girl.